Shalom, more praise to Yahweh Shem Yahshua, double honor to the apostle GMS, shalom to the elect. My name is Amnawa Allah, coming at you another lesson. This lesson gonna be focused on the book of Romans, James chapter 1 verse 21, and it's gonna be focusing on a particular word in this chapter. So let's get right to it. James chapter 1 verse 21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. So it says, wherefore lay apart all filthiness. What does that mean by filthiness? Obviously, it's talking about a moral filth. Okay, things that are morally filthy.
Strong's G 4507. Ruparia. Ruparia.
Chruparia, in the Greek, for filthiness, to make filthy, befoul, to defile, dishonor, to make filthy. Metaphor of wickedness as moral defilement. Okay, so it references wickedness as being moral defilement. So if you're living in filthiness, that's moral defilement. That's conducting yourself in a manner that's opposite in which the scriptures tell you to conduct yourself in. And we'll get into that later on in the lesson. Matter of fact, I'll go into some of it right now. Let me go back. Galatians chapter 5 verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest. Let's go to the works. Let's go to the flesh.
Strong's G 4561. Sarx.
Sarx. It says flesh, the sole substance of the living body, which covers the bones and is permeated with blood of both man and beast. The body of man. Let's jump down a little bit. The sensuous nature of man, the animal nature. So when it says sensuous, it means something that's sensual. Something that's sensual or sensuous, something that's pleasing to something that deals with the senses. So the sensual nature of man is talking about things that are pleasing to the senses of man, like taste, touch, smell, sight, hearing. That's the sensual nature of man. It's the sensual nature of man apart from the spiritual nature of the Most High. That's the flesh. It says, without any suggestion of depravity, the animal nature with cravings which incite to sin. Right, the animal nature with cravings which incite to sin. That's talking about the flesh. That's talking about that sensuous nature of man that incites to sin. Those are things that are pleasing to the senses, the lust of the eyes. You understand what I'm saying? Them different senses: taste, touch, smell, sight, hearing. Those are all all different senses. And those are all things that the flesh consists of. Things that are pleasing to those senses, but things that are not necessarily pleasing to the flesh. Pleasing to the spirit, excuse me. I'm going to jump down. It says, the flesh denotes mere human nature, the earthly nature of man, apart from divine influence, and therefore prone to sin and opposed to the Most High. So the flesh deals with the human nature. See that? That earthly nature of man apart from divine influence, meaning apart from the influence of the Most High. So that earthly nature is talking about that fleshy nature, that sensuous nature, that nature that is pleasing to the senses and not pleasing to the spirit. That's why it says apart from divine influence, because those natures are apart from the spiritual nature of the Lord. It's not necessarily pleasing to the spirit. It's pleasing to the flesh. It's pleasing to those sensual pleasures, not the spiritual pleasures, and therefore prone to sin and opposed to the Most High, and is prone to sin and is opposed to the Most High. So now you understand what that means. That's a lot of information here. Doesn't really give you much. It has stuff here, but we got the gist of it. Okay. So let's go back. Oh, sorry. Let me go back real quick to give you examples of moral filth. Galatians 5:19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, or the works of those fleshly pleasures or sensual pleasures are manifest. This is that moral filth that we mentioned in the book of James 1:21, which are these: adultery, fornication, lasciviousness. Look at lasciviousness real quick. Haven't looked that up in a little minute. Well, actually, probably like a week or so.
Strong's G 766. As'elgaya.
Unbridled lust and uncontrollable lust, excess, lasciviousness, wantonness, outrageousness, shamelessness, insolence. So it deals with one. So basically, what we're talking about is wantonness. Something that's unbridled, something that's wanton. Something that's wanton is something that's undisciplined. That's why it says filthy right here. See that? The conduct and character of one who is, same word right here. Says well, basically gives you the same thing. Filthy words, indecent bodily movements, unchaste handling of males, females. So those are being having an unbridled lust, something that's excess. Okay, something that's too much of something. Wantonness, something that's undisciplined. If a person is undisciplined, they'll have excess, right? They'll have excess of something, they have large amounts of it because you're not disciplined. Part of being disciplined or part of being moderate, something that's moderate is eliminating, or moderation is like the eliminating or lessening of any extreme. That's having discipline. But if you want moderate, then you're wanton. You're lascivious. You have an unbridled lust. Okay, you're not lessening or eliminating the extreme of something. It's unbridled. It's not controllable. It says idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, reveling, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. I could go into all the different words, but I want to deal with the gist of the lesson. You brothers can look these things up. So let me get right back to the point. So you got examples of moral filth. That's as you read here, James 1:21. Wherefore lay upon all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness. Look at the word superfluity. That's the point of this lesson. What does that word superfluity mean?
Strong's G 4050. Perisaya. Perisaya.
Perisaya, abundance, superabundantly, superfluously, superiority, preference, preeminence, gain, profit, residue, remains, the wickedness remaining over in the Christian from his state prior to conversion. And we're the real Christians. The Israelites are the real Christians. Okay? Oh, it says this word was used by the Greeks when they wanted to describe the excess wax in one's ear. See? The residue. Check that out. But it says residue remains, the wickedness remaining over in a Christian or Israelite from his state prior to his conversion. So superfluity of naughtiness is the residue that remains in you, prior to your conversion. Meaning the way you were before you came into the truth. Part of that when you come into the knowledge, it still remains in you. That's that superfluity of naughtiness, because you may have had a particular kind of conduct before you came into the truth. But now that you're in the truth, you haven't necessarily killed that old man, killed that old you. Therefore, certain parts of the person you once were still remains. A residue of who you once were still remains. And that residue that remains prior to your conversion is still in you now. And that's called superfluity of naughtiness, the residue of naughtiness. The residue of what remained in you prior to when you came into this truth. And superfluity of naughtiness and receive with meekness, meaning humbleness, humility, the engrafted word, which is able to save your soul, which is this truth. Let's give you another scripture. 1 Peter 2:1. Wherefore laying aside all malice, okay, that's wickedness, all guile, that's deceit, that's deceptions, lies, and hypocrisies, and envies, and all evil speakings. Okay, let's go to hypocrisy real quick. We know what this word means, but let's just see what it says anyway. Hypocrisy, the practice of claiming to have moral standards or belief to which one's own behavior does not conform. So hypocrisy is claiming to have a certain type of moral standard or belief, but your own behavior doesn't conform to it. Your own behavior doesn't conform to your own beliefs. Okay, that's hypocrisy. You're telling somebody one thing, but you're doing something different. That's hypocrisy. Envies and evil speakings, laying aside those things. That's because these things were things that were in you before you came into the truth. Okay, those are the things that were in you before you came into the truth. It says, as newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word that you may grow thereby. So you lay apart all those things and all evil speakings as newborn babes. Desire the sincere milk of the word that you may grow thereby. So you're supposed to be like a newborn baby. Okay, like a new person, like a new man, so to speak. Let's keep going. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. I'll start from verse 20. But ye have not learned Yahushua. Okay. Matter of fact, here you go. Check this out. Verse 4 and 17. Ephesians 4 and 17. It says, This I say therefore, and testifying in Yahushua, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk. In other words, give rid of that superfluity of naughtiness that's in you, in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of the Most High through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart, who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness to work all uncleanness and greediness. See? That's an example of superfluity. But ye have not so learned Yahushua. If so, be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him as the truth is in Yahushua, that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. So that superfluity of naughtiness is the residue that remained in you prior to your conversion, prior to you coming into the truth. Okay? The reason why that residue remains because you have not so learned Yahushua. So you got to what? Put off concerning the former conversation of the old man, meaning put off concerning the former way of life of the old man, the old you, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. The old you is corrupt according to those deceitful lusts, according to that filthiness, and according to that those sensual pleasures, those pleasures to the senses. Those are the deceitful lusts that was in you, in your old man, which was corrupt. So you got to put away that old man because it's corrupt with those deceitful lusts, with those sensual pleasures. And what do you got to do? And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. And that you put on the new man, put on the new you that doesn't have any superfluity and naughtiness, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness. So the new you is supposed to be opposite of the old you. Wherefore putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. Go to the next scripture. Let's see where I'm at right now. Right now I'm at 12 minutes, so I'm not gonna be able to read this whole. I'm not gonna read this whole chapter. I'm gonna go right to the point. I'll start from verse 4. Colossians 3 and 4. When Yahushua, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him. In fact, I can start from the top. Okay. If I'm gonna start, let's just read from verse 4. Colossians 3 and 4, because the rest is basically self-explanatory. When Yahushua, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth. Let's go to the word mortify. Necro.
Strong's G 3499. Necrao.
Necrao. To make dead, to put to death, slay, worn out, of an impotent old man, to deprive of power, destroy the strength of. So when it says mortify your members, it says that the evil desire lurking in the members. Meaning what? The evil desire lurking in your flesh. So you got to make that dead. Okay, like we read right here. So it says, mortify therefore your members, or make dead your members, or make dead the evil lurking within your members, the evil lurking within your flesh. Mortify therefore your members, which are upon the earth. Fornication, see, upon the earth, sensual pleasure, earthly pleasure. Didn't we just read that? Mortify